Fari, how you doing? You sound
We're
much.
about to scramble some F-22s to see what's happening with you guys. Jesus.
We're
It's
late.
7:35. Aren't you guys late?
You're ready to
What kind of
rock and
shop you're
roll.
running over there anyway?
Look
Well,
at the energy. The energy here. He's bringing it. Bringing it.
Murray, I'm trying. Yeah, it was only last week I overslept. I'm not going to sleep overnight every time. Come on. Look at the market. Up 17 handles. My short position last night. Take a look. We sent you guys the email.
I saw.
Murray, pay attention.
So are you bullish here now? Is this a whole sell-off?
No. Just covered the short. No.
Oh, okay.
I went
So not
flat.
getting much yet.
Murray, are you reading the transmission to you at midnight? You got to read. Oh, Jesus.
These midnight transmissions.
So I have to come to Detroit and show you guys how to... Unbelievable.
Those are my sleeping hours, midnight to 4. I sleep 4 hours a night, and that's when I sleep. So you got to send that at 4 in the morning. That's when I get up.
Listen, at NORAD, you're going to last about 5 minutes as an intern. Plus, you're not all that cute anyway. So.
Well, things were running smoothly, but Joe's back in the office, so that's why we were a minute late calling you. But
No, I understand.
Listen.
Yeah, we don't have the princess around, right?
you know what? The princess is right here, right next to me.
She's there? Okay.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to see if you're ringing the cash register on Twitter. Yeah, I know you've been.
I haven't touched Twitter. Listen, we've been so busy with index. Who's got time to mess around with options? We've been so busy. We have 3 major days. Now, yesterday did not start well for me. If you're in the chat room, you would see. I've got some listeners who are listening. You're going to be upfront about it. It started wrong because there was a dispute we were having. Was it the third day yet, or the third day was Monday? Because the way,
Right.
Wednesday started, the tax selling. And so we're going back and forth, and, I had a couple of wishy-washy trades weren't working, and then boom, starts cascading. I was back on a horse again, and then I open up the throttles. Because I don't trade size until I see a trend established. Otherwise, I'm just, playing, a few contracts here, a few contracts there. I'm just, putzing around. But when the trend establishes, I'm still looking for my tactical trigger. Get that, and let's trade some size here, and boom, it went. And
Good point.
Oh my! I was, first hour almost, I was done. By end of first hour, I was done.
Good
And
point.
then they pulled me back in, just like what do you call it, Pacino. They pulled me back in. So.
Well, good point there, Fari. And you talk about it, you're nibbling in that first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you're doing smaller lots, smaller sizes. You take a couple losses, and it's not a big deal. And I did the same thing yesterday. I
give you a chance to come back if you get an opening, But if you play big up front and you're wrong, what you got? You got yourself in a big hole.
I've been there, done that, Fari. I've played very big on the opening before and been in some trouble.
How do you think I found out? I've been there, done that too. We all, that's part of our tuition. Yeah.
It is. You know what? And I always say that too, and it's a good point you're making there, Fari, because I always say that when I get a losing trade and I did something silly on it, it's part of your tuition. So if you go lose $500,000 on something, think of it as like taking a class in school. You took a hard class on what not to do. And, and even in a 15-year, I've been trading props for 15 years, I still learn every day. I'm learning something. You have to be continuously learning in this market and continuously updating your trading strategies, because what works today will not work tomorrow.
Well, because the context is changing. Who would have thought we would drop so fast in oil? Not even yours truly. I said I threw a $60 price out there in Labor Day. I didn't think. I said 18 months, if you recall. I never thought it was going to be there this fast. This is a startle, everybody. So obviously, it's changing a lot of things. Late last night, I was I don't know, there was a beep or something on my phone, so I got up. I look at it, it was like 1 in the morning. I thought, heck, I'm up. I might as well check what the prices are. So I look at the prices, and then there's a tweet about how if the 50 is the ceiling, not the support, if it's resistance, not the support for oil, where everything could change here. Good things on certain sectors and lousy things on some other sectors, like 2 or 3 states in the country, in the union, will be in severe depression, where they've gone hunky-dory for the last, 3 or 4 years. So that texture being changed, it changes everything, and throws a monkey wrench.
So, Fari, with oil down here now and getting a little bounce here this morning, we didn't talk about that. We did get down to as low as 46.83 this morning. And we
Is that
bounced
right?
up now to, yeah, we
Holy
touched
mackerel.
46.83. They were really killing it earlier this morning. And we're bounced back. We're
Right.
green now at 48.30. Are you starting to think we're getting to a bottom here on oil?
Not if you listen to what's coming out of the Gulf area, especially Naimi of Saudis. These guys are there to clean up shop for a bunch of people, both here in the U.S. and also in terms of competitors, and some non-industrial competitors, more of a political competitors like Iran, like Venezuela, like Putin. I mean, I cannot imagine what's happening here in Kremlin right now, what they're going through. This is not, and imagine, Eurozone also not doing well, which is a lot of their consumers, right? So this whole thing is, I don't think we've seen the bottom yet. There's been a talk that the new oil price range, are you with me? Could be 20.50. 20 as a support.
What? 20? Who said
$20?
Who said 20? I got to hear this. Where did you hear 20?
Oh, no, there's been throwing a lot of people around 20. There are bets on them. First of all, look at the put options on the WTI. They exceed the delivery possible at Cushing, Oklahoma, which is your FOB.
What happens at $20 oil? What happens to like all these oil stocks, like the rig and the drillers and stuff? Are they all out of business?
They got to go and find Paul White and the rest of it. Either big firms in the legal, either M&A, quick, like what do you call it? Sudden. It's a sudden marriage. It's like all of a sudden they're the bride. There you go. Let's go. They become a child bride quickly, or because they're semi-pregnant, or bankruptcy. What else you got to do? You have to have some orderly role moving forward. Now, some are still drilling because the heavy debt. There was an article also on Wall Street Journal. Some they have no choice but they're drilling because of the heavy debt. They have to serve the debt. So maybe they slash some budgets and assign more of the income to the debt, so that the paper doesn't go into default. So this, as I said, this changes a lot of the ballgame in a nonlinear fashion. Okay, it's a nonlinear complex system that's going to all trigger all the synapses, and so we have a different ballgame here. I don't think Obama or Saudis, when they sat down over some tea and figured this one out, I'd say probably a year ago, had this in mind. But this is what we call the laws of unintended consequences.
Okay, let's move on to some of the other momos here.
Okay,
Apple,
sir.
yeah. Let's just
How do you like Tesla?
What? Yeah, it. Let's give us your take on Tesla here. Trading up $1.73. Did that bounce as much as some of the other momos?
Bounced pretty good.
I'm getting interested to buy.
Really? That looks like a horrible
I'm
chart.
beginning to slowly. I mean, it's a 211 now. Here it is. Let me bring a chart forward here. The 213 overnight, but here, let me bring up. I'm looking at the close of last night. 211.28 was. I'd say about 200. I'll be willing. Yeah, 199 and lower. I would be willing to nibble a little bit. So I like what it's doing on the OTF chart. Yeah, I'm getting interested. Yeah. I mean, I look at names in advance of their getting there, and then I'll start looking at what volatilities they're in, and then the last thing is to pick actual strike. But about 199, I'll be interested about it, or lower.
Well, first of all,
I think it's a little bit too rich right now.
I think that's an ugly-looking chart. First of all, it's been declining since September, making lower highs and lower lows. But that's just my opinion. You can do what you want with it. Explain.
Well, remember with the option spreads, if you're careful, you don't need a whole lot of move to make a decent return. Yeah.
Could you explain your OTF, please? You use the term. We know what it means. Could you just explain it to your listeners for stocks? And also, I know you really like to look at it in the futures. Could you just explain that real quickly?
Sure. OTF is a technology we've come up with that has been in the works for us for about about last 5 years, and we've really made progress in it in the first probably 4.5 years of it. That's all usually most research is. You kind of keep hitting a brick wall. What is the purpose is trying to look for when the large players come in, where, the guy is not buying 5, 10, 25 contracts. The guy is buying 1,000 at a time, boom, on the future side. It's coming when those kind of players start coming in, and in numbers, not just one or two, not one guy throwing 1,000, but a bunch of them pile up together, then this chart starts reacting and try to give us upper and lower limits. Like yesterday, the NQ high near in the last hour to the tick was what the OTF was predicting. It hit it and turned south back, and you know what the kind of selling we had. So people are seeing in the OTF, if now it has its own chat room. Today is probably our last day of trial we were having. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll release it. People were scratching their head and said, "How did the machine know that?" I said, "I don't know. It's a black box I'm running. I have no clue what's inside it. All I know is that I have to trade in." But by the way, it needs trades every trade. Okay, so data is very crucial. It needs every single trade. So because it puts them in different categories, mom and pops like Fari and Joel and Dennis, or people like Brad Sullivan, those guys. So it puts them in different boxes, trying to figure out what frequency they're coming in. A lot of math involved. And we also had to modify TradeStation to be able to plot it, because the x-axis is not time. Okay? The x-axis is no longer time. Actually, x-axis becomes a dependent variable. Becomes a variable of the price.
That's
it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So it's looking for when action is coming in. For example, one of the worst times to look at OTF were the holidays. Okay? When we went into post Auntie Jeanette chat, be patient. Yeah, right. Have more tea. Boom. We're up for 800 points. Post that, when that died, because of that Momo died, the whole thing was just, you don't want to watch OTF. You go crazy. So that was the time to get away from OTF. But since then, when you get into active mode, either going down or coming up, because it has no bias, it's not written to be bullish or bearish. Those limits it gives you, and the center line gives you a limit, and up, a limit down, and a center line. And then we had to adapt also one of our most cherished indicator called CI, Central Intelligence, into two modes. It's called kiss or cross. Either it makes a kiss or crosses it. If there's a cross, the direction has changed. If it's a kiss, it's a continuation of mode it was in. So that's when you open the throttles. We were yesterday morning, like 8:45 Chicago time. 8:50, it starts giving kisses to the downside, and that's when you say, okay, open up the throttles. Let's go. Let's triple the size. Let's quadruple the size, and then do it again until now you got into a critical mass. Now it makes a difference. If you move down 5 handles, you're made a decent killing, and you buy a little soup. So.
Fari,
but that's what OTF does. And we do require non-disclosure. We're very strict about that. We basically, so far, we have only done by invitation. It's like your Rodeo Drive. You go there to buy a suit. You see people in the store, but the door is closed. You got to have an invitation to come in.
Fari, I want to
We start you in a regular room first, see how you're doing, how you understand, how you're doing okay. Because remember, the problem with OTF is also, if you're not following instruction, or you want to be eclectic and do your own thing, that could be your last trade that day. In a long time.
Fari, I'm going to jump in here. I want to switch gears really quickly and talk about another Momo stock. What do you think of Facebook right now? I've heard of a couple of people who are interested in buying it.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, we were long into December, some call spreads. And when we dropped in early part of December into Fed Day, we kind of wrote it off. We said, let's worry about our puts. The calls are dead. They're not going to come back. Well, little we know what the power of Auntie Jeanette is. And how tall is she? Something like 4'11", whatever. She's a powerful woman. She said, be patient. Boom. Next thing you know, FP is 81. We had, I think, 75 or 76.80 spread. It was a 4-handle or 5-handle spread. Went to 81, so we cashed out. We haven't touched it. They've been talking to Chatham to come back and take a look at it because there's stocks an option Chatham. On it, but also earnings is coming up. Okay, so I think it's getting more attractive. Here's the targets I would look at: 74.5 or to 74, 74.5. Yeah, I may nibble in. At 72, I'm very interested. At 72, at 70, I'm going to close my eyes and go in.
Okay, we've been.
That's the 200 bar. 70 is 72.50 is a -3 sigma. We're right now at 50 and -1. If the way it's continuing, we got a little bit more to go. So I wouldn't buy here. Would I short it? That would be the overnight action. If you look at what overnight action we have, no, I wouldn't short it here.
Yeah, I was looking at this yesterday, and yesterday was the 6th day in a row that it's declined. So maybe we come back to that support. I do see some under 75. Folks, you've been listening to Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins the show every Wednesday, bringing his wealth of knowledge on aggressive equity options and index futures, as well as his effervescent personality. Fari, thank you very much. We will talk to you again next week.
Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks,
We'll see you next week. Always a pleasure to chat with you guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Fari.
Bye now.